Thank you very much, Puckett. Yes, a big game coming up for this next one. Boston versus Toronto. Our defending champs start their Major IV run against a Boston team who haven't, in at least recent memory, had a good time against Ultra.
Yeah, and I think I wanted to touch immediately on what Ali was saying about Beans. He has been a top performer for the side of the Boston Breach on average, but against Ultra, 0.68 overall, a 0.7 in the hard point, a 0.6 in the SD, and a 0.6 in the control. Not numbers we associate with Beans in some of the performances that we've seen from him so far. Can he bring something different to the table here against Toronto? They played him quite a few times already since Beans' inception into this roster, but Ultra, their first game, of course, since being champions in Texas. And the curiosity is how good can this team be? I very much agree with that. Is this even the best that we've seen or potentially could see from this side? They've got a lot of growing still to do, I think, myself as well. This should be an interesting series, though. I think map number one's a questionable one from both these two teams. It's hard to say which way it's going to go. Ultra will be feeling good heading into it, though. The vibes are going to be at an all-time high, right? Yeah, Bryce.
Well, they certainly were a few weeks ago, but we'll see. I think realistically, Ultra should have the mental game here against Boston. They are heavily favored now into it, and you are right, momentum and mental game should be on point. Speaking of on point, Ultra are actually bleeding a good amount of time away from P1.
Yeah, nice to see it be done. Insight up top on the bridge. It's very hard to get any sort of control when the SMGs are running around in this kind of area as well. Kleenex trying to find kills inside of PD. Him and Hixie trying to make the plays. But when we do speak about aBeZy specifically, as we get this rotation starting to be locked in by Ultra potentially, there's the 2 kills from Hixie in the mid-map. That should secure it. In terms of rotations, it's been really, really poor from the side of Ultra when they have specifically played this map. And I believe this is the first time with Hixie that we're seeing it from them. Very strong holding team, though. The best in the game. When they do get a hold of these points, they're in towards P2 on their own at this moment in time. Boston yet to get more than a point.
Yeah, I was going to say, big bleed off P1. They should really have a little bit more of a hold at P2. They have got the stack. They've got the back spawn. They can now at least contest it. And Hixie will just be fighting for his life. A contest here is great, but he still manages to pick up times. Boston have not managed to get him off of this yet.
Beautiful hold here from the side of Ultra. They're sitting in the position where they can rotate over towards P3 almost freely. Boston Breach, though, starting to spawn up towards the tennis court side. So now you're thinking about maybe more of a contested rotation that will be coming through and into fruition in about 20 seconds time, but eventually Scrap Insight are going to get collapsed on. Some good time in there for Boston Breach. I mean, some much needed time, if I'm honest with you. It's been a lightning start from the side of Ultra. Kleenex up top as well is going to slow down everything down this side. Ready and waiting for the Boston push that will inevitably come through down this side. Ultra with a nice rotation. That's 2 in a row from them so far.
And that is a perfect rotation, and now they have the hold. It's a hard push again here for Boston. Didn't have P2. Hoping to get something around P3, but realistically, all they've had so far is scrap time. You see they're still fighting for this. We're trying to get the kills onto Awakening. Already finds one. Beans finds a second. An opportunity here for Boston to get through. Scrap tries to hold Orange with it, and he isn't going to. And there's a great trade coming in from Boston. That is a beautiful break from them in the end.
For all that we say that Toronto Ultra, the best team at holding down hills on this map, maybe from a small sample size, the best team at breaking Boston Breach, but here comes the break back from Ultra. Breach no time to set up with the tennis court spawns coming in, but Vivid, he was the one that named the set, could drop the highest amount of kills in this game. It's the 8th on the board, not quite. Scrap guns him off the top. 15 seconds to go. The gunfights will go Ultra's way. Boston Breach once again licking their wounds, heading over towards P4. They are going to finally get a good rotation in here, though, Bryce, but can they make it count?
Yeah, well, it's not doomed quite yet. 60 seconds, 1 rotation, and this is a hill that they can hold. They've stacked it quite deep. You can already see Ultra looking to pinch this from various directions, but they haven't found any kill feeds, and they're going to have to try and reset. I say that as income Toby, and he's going to die as well. Bean's trying to hold, and a lot of pressure coming in from Ultra, but it's still going to be Boston holding them out right now.
Just want to hover on exactly what's come up in the top left of your screen there. Awakening sitting at 3 and 6, but on this map specifically, on this hill specifically, 2.19 KD when that timer on the top of your screen is active. Don't think he's found one yet, so he needs to step it up when it does come down to it. Nero and Beans, though, have been the ones that are holding down the point. My goodness, Nero, the leading players left, right, and center. It's only Kleenex who can find a break with 20 seconds to go. Boston Breach, hold on. First good hold, in all honesty, from a decent rotation that come through from Breach. Suddenly back into this game. For all that Toronto Ultra did have a very good start, can quickly be turned around with one good hold.
That's what I talked about. Just make sure you get the 60 and move on. It looks like a lot, but this early, you can't really worry about it too much as Boston start to turn it up just a little bit. They've got the rotation as well. Ultra and not having everything their way. And now Boston have gone back-to-back in hills and are looking to cut that lead down to size.
It's going to be a three-man push coming in from Ultra, but Vivid, the timing just works out perfectly. This should be easy pickings, fishes in a barrel, so to speak. Nero will come through and find the final couple of kills. Nicely done from Boston, but still is one player left. He was. Insight is dead. Still a great hold from Boston Breach. And considering after the first two hills, they were getting blown away. It's now about a 10 to 15 point game.
Awakening is trying to hold down Ultra as he knows they're flying at him here, but both teams will continue to push this point because P1 is up next. Vivid looking for the players in the corner, and Beans is going to get it as well. Both teams breaking this perfectly over and over again. And as we head towards our second set of rotations, the lead, well, basically it's irrelevant.
Very low in it. Toronto with the good start, but when Boston have found a good rotation over towards P4, they get nearly every single point and break Toronto so fast as we headed over towards Kitchen, and that has been the equalizer. My goodness, Nero. 2 kills falling his way. The SMG starting to heat up to the side of Boston. Awakening quiet again, to be honest with you. He didn't necessarily have the best of series yesterday, but that's going to be a 4 wipe. Nero, Vivid, and Beans all combining well. It's going to be a rotation coming in over towards P2. Ultra not necessarily in the best of places over towards the PD side. They want to be extending around tennis courts, but with that P1 control from Boston, there will be a lead for them for the first time in this map so far.
And lead should be short-lived. I think Ultra will be on this point. Going to be a challenge coming in from Nero, though. You can see it around the back, and he will get it eventually. Hicks and Nero go head-to-head for this scrap time. At the moment, neither team really in a great position for it. You can see that Insight is going to be here first around P2, but he's outnumbered, and he's got a pinch coming for him in every direction as Vivid bunny hops and rips him out of there, and Boston have an opportunity to get a great lead.
And a good position from Awakening as well. May only be 10 and 10, but influencing the spawns. Can he lock this down? Yesterday didn't necessarily have the best of times around this area, but Insight will be the first to fall. 2 spree now for Awakening. It's going to be the third as well. Nero's there to help clean up the pieces, and all of a sudden it's Toronto Ultra having to break from the back. It's a lead for Boston again. This is a great hold so far.
You see, it's still Boston. A complete reversal, realistically. Ultra, if you think a lot of their points come in that first 1-2 rotation, and now they haven't been finding an awful lot. They're going to have to settle for P3, and better hold on P3 this time is necessary as Nero gets destroyed by Insight a little bit too quick on shutting down his trigger. But they are here this time. Ultra, they are 30 points behind. Last time this was broken super fast.
No shot.
Nero's done it again.
How on earth has he broken this all on his own? Toronto Ultra, that's very scrappy, to be honest with you. You need to be able to find that second kill. You know exactly where it's coming from. Are the comms there or not? And now Awakening and Vivid have got the cross at 6, nearly 7 for Vivid. So now the spree can come through over towards P3, but you might not need it. Awakening is frying, and Boston Breach have turned this one right on its head, Bryce.
Yeah, you called for Awakening to turn up. It seems like he waits for the second set of rotations in these hard points as now he is gunning.
Good Lord.
And Ultra find nothing around P3. They're hoping the clears can do something. Scrapz is just picking players off who go towards it. But Ultra are here first and haven't got a point. They must be disappointed by this again and again. They are losing this rotation now. There we go, another player going down. They're trying to put the pressure through Awakening coming under fire. How on earth is he allowed to make these kills? And it will be scrap time for Ultra, but that's not enough.
Ultra have got to win these fights. Boston have got to be feeling good. It's a 50-point lead. They were 60 down after 2. Boston Breach, let's go for a listen.
I'm gonna P2.
Another close P1 on me.
Gonna play inside F2. I stun back truck.
He's
I'm gonna drop top, guys.
no back truck.
I'm jumping top.
Nothing back left. Yeah, back S1.
S1. Absolutely. Nice.
I'm on top.
Yeah. Back to time, inside.
Yeah.
I'm just
You know,
Take your time.
I'm going back. Is anybody S1?
Yeah, deep.
He's dead.
Bathroom. Toby, I stunned him. He's in bathroom.
I'm gonna skip him. I'm gonna squeak this.
Sign on me.
Weak. Front right. He's still front right corner.
They're in the back.
In the back. Yeah, it's like a great side.
In the back, dead.
Scrap.
I'm in new weak trap. He's on the ramp. He threw a trophy on himself. Nice, in new scrap.
Back alley.
Put Cellium back.
In red. He's in long, Johnny.
I'm gonna shrink this.
No, Jet. Nice, stay low.
Try to go low.
Oh my god!
Nice, man.
I'm blocking this last one.
Yeah, we have low file there.
Absolutely red. Let's go back out. Last one close.
Most of them got
Shoot.
One right, fuck. There, watch that.
Chill.
Left full time. What do you think? Next?
Laundry for a bathroom pick.
Very weak.
Watch out, Laundry. Laundry.
Go laundry.
Time and low gas, let's do.
I don't see low gas.
Time. He's laying down in between the tables.
Yeah, he's coming. Watch out,
Nice, good shit.
Be ready, fine.
And Boston Breach are fired up for this. The comms have gone ballistic, but the score is still close. Boston break in here with 20 seconds left to go. Ultra will continue to put the pressure on themselves, but it won't end here. It might end P1.
15 seconds to go on this hill. It's going to be valuable time. Ultra will happily take that final 10. It will be an ever so slight lead as we head back over towards P1. We may not see many more hills, but the comeback from Boston has been inspirational, to be honest with you. As Bean's been stepping it up. Awakening has been frying since we got to the second set of hills. Ultra now just trying to get themselves back into this one, trying to steady the ship. They have all the experience underneath their belt. There may well be rookies on that side, but they're a cool, calm, and collected team. You best believe they will be still cool, calm, and collected, but they have to have those comms firing right now. Boston Breach may only be 20 away.
And one thing right now that Ultra don't want is any time going away on P1, because they're going to have to keep putting that pressure forward. You see they're looking for it as well. Awakening sees several players jumping across the mid as well. And every single second that goes against them, Ultra have to expose themselves and put themselves in a dangerous position. And they keep falling over and over again as Beans tries to clear up, but it's a breath of air. Awakening will take the last time. They can still win it here as Awakening makes a second. Hixie looking for it as he eventually gets around the corner ton, but it's still pressure. Ultra cannot allow this to flip. And now we got a P2.
Yeah, they got it now, of course. Ultra, you need to have a good hold here. They were just fighting tooth and nail to try and keep them off it as best as they could. Kills have been traded so far. Ultra here, but Boston need one decent break.
And that's it. That's all done. Boston fought all the way back into this against Ultra. And they've taken them down. A slow start, but a great finish, frying the entire time.
Just the ARs, to be honest with you. Finding those rotations, locking every single lane down. And honestly, it felt like Kitchen was where they were really having the most benefit from that. All the time you've seen players over towards the tennis side were watching the spawns coming in from toilet to PD. Whichever way that Ultra were coming from, they were getting cut to ribbons. Boston Breach, a huge game from them. It's a 4K damage game from Vivid. Beans, of course, up to the top of things. He'd be happy with that, KD, considering his history up against Ultra. Good start for the side of Boston Breach, but it's a hard point that they would have been feeling confident on, knowing that Ultra do not enjoy aBeZy. It was a map they would have had to win, I feel, when I look at the rest of this series. Still very doable for Boston, but Ultra will not be too concerned, I think, from map number 1, but Boston will be more than happy to take it.
They really will. I think the telling thing was the comms. When we went in with Breach, I'm fairly certain it was Beans just screaming dead over and over again. It's obviously not the most helpful of call-outs where that player is dead, but it does say that the intensity was there. When players are feeling like that, when they are essentially very enthused about what's going on, it means they are playing fast, furious, the reflexes are popping, the adrenaline is in the system.
I mean,
and they were slaying.
I mean, it's just moments like that from Awakening.
Look at it from here, by the way. 17-16, Beans is. Look what he ends up on, because at the moment you still see Vivid 26-15 or whatever it was. Beans goes on a huge streak here at this point.
I mean,
and it just completely shuts Ultra down.
I think that was around the dead conversation, wasn't it? I think that was about that kind of area, wasn't it? It was a 6 or 7 spree from Beans, leading from P4 to 5. Nicely done from Boston, and that's a nice win for them to get. Of course, in the last series up against Toronto Ultra, they did take map number 1. It was Fortress that time around. Ultra not wanting to play them on that. They end up playing them on aBeZy and suffering the same fate. S&D on Fortress was map number 2 in the previous series. It's going to be Hotel this time around. We'll see aBeZy for map number 5 if we do need to get there. So both S&Ds different. Oh, actually, just the first one. The Hotel S&D was the last one. You know what? Our reading is difficult at times. look, I think this is still potential here for Boston to get something in this search and destroy, but Toronto are going to be feeling confident heading into this one as well as the control series is far from over. Boston with that 1-0 lead. I don't want to say it's necessary that they absolutely necessary, I should say, that they got that, but it will feel nice to have that little bit of a buff, and considering how Toronto and how strong they are across every single game mode, Boston will be happy to have that buffer.
They really will. And here's something I'm going to cover now, because I feel like people haven't really spoken about it. All the talk at the moment in the CDL is about who's in 8th and 9th, right? Talk about Røkkr, we talk about Legion. Currently, after that Røkkr win, Boston are only 20 points above them. Like, there is always going to be a race going on. Legion currently on 100 points, Boston Breach on 140. There is 2 full splits left to go. Trust me when I say every single team needs these 10 points outside of like 3. FaZe, Ultra, and Texas, they don't really need it. They might be safe. Everybody else, well, they're fighting for survival the entire way. You can see here, Boston Breach 6th, 140 points. It is not out of the realms of possibility that these teams could slip below.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Boston as well, like how good of a major you still had, and it's still putting you in this position. They have definitely looked a bit stronger since Beans came into the roster, so I think they'll still be feeling good, but you're very right. Every single game is so crucial. Greenberg Hotel coming up next. Both these teams setting exactly the same record at 4-5, but last time around it was a 6-2 victory for Toronto Ultra on this map when we were in beautiful Arlington, Texas. So can they repeat it? That's the question. It did take 5 maps for them to dispatch of Boston Breach on the way to the title for Toronto Ultra, and I don't think they'll be too concerned about having to go there again. They know their search and destroy is strong, and last time they really did shut down Beans in the search and destroy. Beans dropping a 0.3 in that series on the search. Will need to be better on Hotel here. We know that he can be. The sniper will be an effective tool up against Ultra, but can he be effective enough to maybe drag Boston over the line here in the search and destroy?
Well, let's find out. It really is a big scalp if Boston can take it. We talk about strength of schedule. Couldn't be a more difficult game to start with, right? Major 3 champions, Toronto Ultra, high flying after that win. To lose the first game of Major 4 would certainly be something. But we are getting ahead of ourselves. An awful lot left to play. I'm just looking forward to it. Everything in the CDL is heating up. All these teams are very competitive. Let's find out how it goes then. We're going to be on the attack, first of all, with Ultra.
Keep an eye on retakes and bombs going down. There's a couple of interesting stats around that if we do get there, but the first blood going over towards Kleenex this mic can just be so elusive on the map. Hotel is the kind of map that he does enjoy, maybe not from the respawn screen. The Scrapz will eventually trade that kill out 2v2.
Just waiting for information here. You can see Scrapz backpedaling. Doesn't know where these players are exactly. Checks everywhere. And Hixie has no idea either. We'll know now. Can we find Awakening? He's going to see him as well. Just around the corner. Down to a 1 versus 1. And it's rookie time. Beans versus Hixie. Dead Silence could be the big play.
And I believe Hixie, last time around when these two teams met, when Ultra managed to defeat the side of Boston, Hixie shouted over, "Ben, you just can't beat me." Well, there's a 1v1 here. Who's going to come out on top? Last time we actually seen Hixie inside of the kitchen. He managed to pull off a 1v1. It was a huge one. And that is going to be another one added to his belt. Nicely done from Hixie. Just nice and patient. Beans kind of just had to take a risk in that scenario. It's a very hard retake. Hixie with the 1v1.
And yeah, it wasn't that dramatic in the end, realistically.
I know, I was building it up and it really wasn't dramatic at all.
Yeah, a lot of corners to check, unfortunately, and they didn't get any information, so Beans just had to make a play with time ticking down. There is first blood in the air for Ultra, and they'll be happy with that in the end as we move forward, and Boston has their own go at it. We spoke about a potential of a sniper play coming forward, but it looks like a big hit at the moment. Boston going straight towards A.
This bomb looking like it is going to go down. All taking their time. Ultra still with some control over towards the top bedroom side. I mean, bedroom really the most important part of this map in so many different facets. Nero still exploring his options here. Do we push forward? Do we try to find a kill? Do we just cover? Let our teammate maybe get this bomb down. When it does come down to it, the retaking side of things for Toronto Ultra is a positive stat for them. They're not going to have to retake. If they don't let the bomb go down, Insight's got the angles. There's 2 kills to his name. A 4v2 Ultra. For them now to find a 2-0 lead. Vivid and Awakening, tough spot to be in.
Yeah, perfect timing from Insight. And realistically, Boston have to find their way back into that bomb site, get the bomb, find the Ultra players. They're outnumbered, and they've got to do it all in 30 seconds. Awakening going to get taken down as well by Insight. Insight potentially for the ace this round. Only Vivid left, and Vivid will take him down before he gets anything else. Goes straight for the bomb, straight for the plant.
This is doable. This is doable if he can get the bomb down and get out, which might just be the harder part of things. Gets in the bedroom. This is doable.
Oh, my goodness, Vivid. Oh, almost had a miracle there, not quite. I thought he was going to get away with it, but they eventually just hold the irons. And that little bit of a shoulder, that little reach out, cost him.
Big players coming in from Insight. Stopping that bomb going down. So crucial. And follows it up with a second kill as well. Stash working out for him so far. I enjoy it on his face. It looks good.
We've spoken about this before. Maybe we should grow mustaches.
I don't think... Do you think Kleenex could grow a mustache? I don't think he looks like he could.
I was talking about us.
No, but I was just talking... Kleenex was on screen. I was trying to be rather... You know what? Mine's not terrible, but it's not great. It's not quite as thick as that.
My face is bad enough and ready. I don't need to experiment anymore. Anyway, let's move on with this one. Ultra 2-0 up in this S&D. They have the attack again. They're going for a B hit. They've got bodies here. I wonder when Boston adjusts. They haven't really seen anything towards A yet.
Oh, Nero. There's the sound cues. Help me, please help me, God. Scrap will find one. The trade comes through. Bomb immediately going down here. Is Awakening going to check it in time? I think Scrap could be dead if he doesn't get out in time, but Awakening chooses to just play it his life. Wait for the rest of the team to come here with the reinforcement. 3 versus 3. Hard retake for the side of Boston now.
So many areas in kitchen to check, and they're waiting. Awakening knows he's probably going to end up with a trade here when he flies through. Nade out to begin with. Should now be able to push this. Doesn't get a hit marker either, so he knows he's backed off. They're all waiting on Vivid. He gets caught by Insight, and Awakening tries to dive through. It's only beans with a sniper, and down he falls. That entire play rested on Vivid's shoulders, but they caught him before he could do the damage.
Yeah, you can see Boston just try to move into action as soon as Vivid gets taken down. Maybe a couple of guns are looking the wrong way. They don't get that luxury. Beans barely even gets to fire the bullet before Scrap deletes him and sends him to the next round. Ultra feeling good here. Nice little lead. It was a 6-2 last time around against Boston. Very much on course to beat that at this moment in time. 3-0 to Ultra. Comfortable. Very comfortable so far.
Yeah, it really has been. But 6 rounds does an S&D make. See if Boston can fight their way back into it like they did the hard point. Already see Scrap versus Vivid. It's a big fight. Scrap gets away with his life. Nobody from Boston kind of pushing forward yet. They have spread out on this map, maybe looking for a pick.
Waiting for a misstep from Toronto Ultra, who have struggled when First Blooders went the other way, typically. In terms of 3v4, sitting only at 19% of the time, 3rd worst in the league. So the First Blood's very important to them. Those 3 rounds are being dictated by the numbers that Ultra can play. But the numbers that they had over towards B are diminishing as Scrap will walk away. And Boston Breach will happily fill that gap. Scrap though, back here, ready and waiting, will be able to find one. Its best case scenario was always going to get traded. Are Ultra in a position to respond to this?
Well, Hicksy's going to be here, but is he going to check this in time? I don't think... Oh my goodness! He gets it. Kleenex with a nade coming straight through, and that bomb is open. It's a 2 versus 3. If it gets naded out of it as well, that's going to be defused, surely.
He got off it.
They got off it. Vivid comes straight through as well. They're going to look for this player. It's a 1 versus 2. Vivid's in the bomb site. They don't know. Vivid finds one. Oh, second. Oh my goodness. How on earth he snuck through in the kitchen, I do not know. But Ultra let it happen.
And I'm wondering if a grenade is just coming in towards Kleenex to maybe get him to jump off that bomb. It was hard to see without seeing his cam, but he was at least halfway, and then all of a sudden I looked back up towards the bomb, and it wasn't being diffused. So they had to get off it for some reason. If they'd stuck it, they would have got it, you would presume, but big plays from Vivid nonetheless. That's a huge 1v2, huge moment for Boston, 4-0. You're talking lights out. Yeah, talking you're heading into map number 3 at a 1-1, but now it's 3-1. This is a little bit more doable for Boston Breach. Big round from them.
They've taken a bit of mid-map control here. It cuts down the options for Ultra.
What is the play? Nero up in the mid-map. Any sign of movement? Potentially be pounced upon by Nero at this stage. Shots being fired. They know there's somebody in the mid-map. What they will do now is CleanX just about gets out. Grenade over towards the side. It'll be too little too late. Nero having to get out now. It's a 4v4, but the bomb is down.
And both teams in position. Boston with a very difficult choice now. Which angles do we push? Which gunfights do we win? Hixie will find the first. Boston no longer having that angle to work with. They are burning time as Viv is going to try and tell us what he does get it, but CleanX trades as the teams fly into action. Beans gets a second. And CleanX is playing so patient in bedroom. And that time is going to be the dagger for Boston. They don't have it. Surely Vivid finds it, but CleanX finds his teammate. And now it's no good. Boston took way too long to get in position. And even with winning the trades ton, it's not going to work.
Force spree for Vivid is the only thing that Boston have to take away from that one. Did so well to find a couple of kills on his own. CleanX winning the crucial one over towards the bedroom side. He wins that. The round is done. I'm actually quite surprised that we would see CleanX even challenge that player that was left over towards the site. Wins the gunfight though, and we'll be happy for it. Toronto Ultra now in a really nice spot. Now it's important to find that because all of a sudden you've got the Vivid 1v2. You've got Vivid maybe finding something to bring it back to 3-2. Toronto Ultra would have been a free fall, but right now 4-1 up and still comfortable.
Let's start check. It has to back off just a few seconds. Beans looking for something with a sniper. Doesn't find anything yet, but his teammate's falling. He finds the first though. Will this be a chow? We can see the X-ray, but Beans can't. He is looking. Anybody gonna chow for him as well, and he sees a shoulder, but doesn't get the hit. And Ultra will now have to play around this. They know Beans is gonna be on Overwatch.
Such a difficult player to get rid of down this side of the map. Sniper just so effective. Awakening just catches Hixie in the middle of nowhere. Insight will respond. 2v2.
Scrap and Insight. Here goes Beans over the pistol. Finds Scrap as well. And now it's just Insight left. And he's very confused about what to do here. Don't know whether he heard that door, but he heard something. Sees Beans jump across, goes for the chow onto him as well. Awakening falls. It's another 1v1. Beans against a different member of Ultra this time. It's Insight.
Did he manage to pick up a gun during that? The answer is no. So it's pistol and a sniper. And a very, very crucial round that could go Boston Breach's way. Did Insight see that door open? I don't think he did. The pistol shots from Beans are clean. And it's another round from Boston. Beans with at least 3 kills in that round, I feel.
Oh, it definitely was.
Yeah.
He has used that sniper pistol combo fantastically well. And Insight, he had the right call to find them on the cross, but wasn't able to gun them.
It's always a difficult one when the bomb is down over towards that B side. They could be inside the kitchen, they could be lying down, they could be towards the back, they could be in restaurant waiting for you to push up, they could be flanking back around you. There's so many different places. It's such a hard retake. 3 for Beans in the round to keep this just within touching distance for the Boston Breach. They've had to clutch up to find those 2 rounds, but they found the first blood here in round number 7. 4-2 lead. It's potentially going to get cut down even further, but Ultra answer back 3v3.
It's a readjustment from Boston. Will Beans be in a position to pick somebody off here? He peeks at the right moment. It's disaster for Ultra. Slowly, surely, but Scrabble ends. He finds Vivid. Beans might have an opportunity here. He's waiting for somebody on desk, but nobody is. Here he goes. He checks. He doesn't see it. He's going to see a pixel and he finds it as well. Huge from Beans! A 5 streak! He's putting Ultra in the dirt by himself.
He's just read that so perfectly. I'm not sure if he gets the information on the player pushing up towards light stairs. But as soon as he finds that kill into bomb, he expects the flank to come through. And he's shooting before Scrapz even round the corner. Sound cue or not, brilliant awareness coming in from Boston Beans. And now this is going from what looks like a comfortable Toronto Ultra map number 2 to a Boston resurgence. This is very, very close now, Brycey. If Beans can find a 6th as well to add a cruise missile to the arsenal, it becomes a dangerous proposition for Ultra.
We find first blood. Beans trading up the top there. Scrapz will get the trade himself, though. Beans just peppering up all of them. There is a tiny modicum of control here for Boston on this bomb site. They can plant, but to do it, they need Beans to move forward. I suspect what's going to happen now is Awakening will go on Overwatch, and Beans will move towards the bomb site.
Awakening trying to watch reception for as long as he can. The flank, though, as we can all see, is not forthcoming. That bomb, though, is down, and this big gunfight up top is not going to go anybody's way. Nero does pepper up Scrap. Will have to back down. HyDra yet again to the fight, but a flank is maybe on the cards, but he's going to have to start moving soon. Big fight coming through. Nero gets the sound cue, and all of a sudden, it's looking like another round for Boston.
Nightmare here for Ultra, by the way. Awakening all the way towards the back. Nero laying down by stairs, and Beans is going to be underneath as well, and they just win every single one they need to. Boston bring it back to 4-4.
That's 3 rounds in a row. Ultra just leaking. First bloods, important kills, all going the way of Boston. Can't recall if Beans managed to find another kill there to find the cruise missile. That would really be salt in the wounds for Ultra. Who, I mean, looked to be having a grand old time not that long ago. It was laughs, there was smiles. There's plenty of big moments, but a couple of clutches from Boston, a couple of solid rounds from Boston, and they're back into the game. Beans still on this 5 spree. Oh, look at this.
Straight out as well. Might have caught it, but HyDra will get that first blood. Beans will have to wait. Vivid finds CleanX as well. Beans just got to up for this one, looking for it. He just can't get the bullets on. It's down to a 2 versus 2. Scrapping inside. Oh, Beans does get the nade and the cruise. And now Scrap in a 1 versus 2.
And what happens there is Vivid runs straight through the middle of the map, straight to desk, and finds 2 of the easiest kills you're likely to find on Hotel. And now the push comes through from Scrap. The call out's going to be there from Beans. He's just going to play at the time. 45 seconds remaining. He's just baited Scrap into getting off that.
Shoulder his life away, hoping Beans picks a different angle. But look at the patience from Boston. Beans and Awakening. They have it all covered.
Are they going to get bad timing here?
They are getting bad timing. This is the worst timing. Scrap has dead silence. He's popped it as well. He's going to find... Oh! Oh, no, he's not! Wow. I thought there for a second Scrap had the timing. But Awakening turned, burned, and ended the round. And I apologize for how high-pitched I went there.
Lola's downstairs barking her head off right now. I mean, it's just... I mean, that man has had his ears cleaned out. Awakening hears him come behind him, spins and fires. 4 in a row from Boston. Beans with the cruise missile. This is just so difficult for Ultra now, who have absolutely crumbled. This could be a 2-0 lead in the series for Boston.
I wonder when he calls in this cruise. He may use it just for information. He use it to back them off the platform. Oh no, I like it. I like it. They're going B. They're going to use the fact that Ultra will have to rotate to this as they can, but already it's coming in.
This is all info for Boston. Over towards the B side, but he's just found it. Through the eye of a needle. HyDra gets taken down. Scrap must find this kill, but he's managed to slip the net. Vivid gets the timing, and everything is looking like a Boston win now, unless Insight and CleanX can find a 2v4.
Insight desperately trying to find out where Vivid has gone, but he's getting peppered up from different directions. CleanX should be able to find him, but he's hunting. He's now alone to 1 versus 4. Finds the first. If ever they needed a hero play, it's right now. CleanX though gets cut down to size, and Boston Breeze go up 2-0 against Ultra.
I mean, Ultra are 4-1 up there and lose the game 6-4. It's a hell of a comeback from Boston Breach. started finding some first bloods, started getting a little bit more aggressive to counter what Ultra were doing, which was moving to halfway, finding the first bloods, and then slowly finding their way in rounds. Boston switch it up and do not look back. It's a 12-7 from Vivid. Beans with the 10-6 with the spree towards the end, which was the catalyst for that 6th round for Boston. 12-minute search and destroy, and honestly, it felt like Ultra were in complete control for the majority of it. Then all of a sudden, Boston flicked the switch and don't look back. A 2-0 lead in this series is something that could have always been potentially on the cards, but it's a surprising one to me based off their performance yesterday. But Ultra left reeling after the first 2 maps. Control may well be their best game mode. It's going to have to be here. Boston have turned up to play this game, Bryce.
They really have, and you are right, both maps kind of going the same way in the end. Realistically, a slow start from Boston turns into a dominating final performance. Unbelievable, really, but let's find out what happens in the rest of it. All that and more coming up after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you for more Call of Duty League.
The Call of Duty League is presented by the GMC Hummer EV Pickup, the world's first all-electric super truck. Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League is brought to you by the new series Citadel, premiering on April 28th, only on Prime Video.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. This is Boston Breach versus Toronto Ultra. And at the moment, the champions of Major 3 are down 2 to Boston. Could this end here in a 3-0, or are we going the distance, son?
We still could go the distance here. Both these teams very much enjoy as of LSC low control alongside myself. I do enjoy it. It's a nice one to see when you're loading it in the right. Some may well disagree, but both these two teams with very solid records. Last time around, though, when we were indeed online, which could be the difference maker, was a 3-0 for Toronto Ultra. They will be hoping to find some form back after what has been a very strange first few maps. It's felt like they've been in control. It's felt like they're doing everything right, and all of a sudden they forget how to do everything right. They start doing everything wrong, and Boston Breach really do start to turn up. Is that going to be the same story here in map number 3, or is it the start of the reverse sweep?
Let's see already. Beans usually plays this position. So will the rest of the league, and there's a big fight going down straight away. Nero's not going to be able to get it. Beans tries to go for it, and already kills are erupting everywhere on this map. And you can see that while that's gone down, it has given Ultra the opportunity to get straight into A-Ton.
Yeah, it's the AR duo that get them in there as well. Inside is here with 2 kills to his name on the outside. Beans will get the better of him this time. Fat grenade on its way over there, though Vivid will be dead to rights. Can they manage to find this back? Awakening and Nero from up top, but it's 2 ticks already locked in for Ultra. Or was that second tick even locked in? It wasn't. No, nearly there. Just about hold on if you're Boston. And now if you're Ultra, you're in a little bit of an awkward spot. Spawning over towards the B side, do you take that opportunity and run with it, or do you still continue to chip away over towards A?
I think they're still going to put a little bit of pressure in towards it. It isn't even fully cleared. So waiting to get this, and with radio control, actually puts them in a really good position. Ultra can look to convert this. Just have to make a few kills here to give Insight a chance to hold it down for them.
The problem they've got that is Nero is just running ragged in their base right now. That's 3 kills to his name. The POV in the map in the bottom left corner, not quite there, but he has been causing havoc around bar, which has stopped Ultra getting anywhere near. They may well have had Insight in a good position, but the rest of the team couldn't get there to back him up. Now, Kleenex will find his kill over towards A. Toronto on 2 different fronts, finding some attacking success. The kills over towards the backside. Beans tries to flank. He's not going to find a good position for Ultra now, but not a lot of time to secure it here.
Well, they get that second tick, but can they get the next one? That's going to be the real key. Here comes a chow, and it's Nero again. Scrap will eventually take him down. They have to make sure they convert this. Time is ticking, and Boston has committed a few players towards it. Beans is going to make a pick, but it should be Ultras.
They should get a hold of it, but Boston quite happy to make their lives as difficult as possible. Eventually will get secured. That time will be extended. Those couple of kills that fall through for Ultra, quite crucial as well. Awakening is going to be a pain in the backside, though, over towards the blue side of the map. Ultra will know there is a player there because they spawn over towards A. So can they clear them out? Can they find the kills on the forefront? It's been all Ultra for the past 20 seconds or so. Boston just about holding on, but the crucial kill is going to be on Awakening.
And that's a huge kill from Awakening all the way across the other side of the map. It just rebuffs the pressure. It allows them to breathe, reset these lines, and Ultra have to fight their way all the way up the map again. And they are losing the kills and the trades. They only have 6 lives left.
Great pressure from Boston, because Ultra are now hunting for Awakening, and then they can then push up through the mid-map pretty much uncontested. Vivid will find another, but Nero at 10 and 6 has really been the standout from this Boston Breach side. 5 lives remaining for Ultra. One more opportunity.
Nero, though, is going to cut down the first. 4 lives left. A flawless potential.
God.
But in Nero is just killing everything. A 12 and 6 start for him. He has really been the problem. Ultra cannot get anything going as he just wins gunfight after gunfight.
I mean, it was something I was about to touch on as the attacking round will come in for Boston Breach in just a second. But Nero, a 1.21 on this map. His offensive KD is a 1.3. That defensive side of things coming in at over a 2. And he's just so good at finding those positions to disrupt whatever Ultra are trying to do. If he's on the defense, he's in bar. If he's on the attack, He's up top over towards the defensive side, just causing issues behind you, shooting the back, and winning absurd gunfights on top of that as well. 13 and 6 to kick things off, and pretty much dominant from Boston to start this control. A very different flow of the game, as we've seen Ultra come out the gates hot and then slow down towards the latter stages. Boston have not slowed down since those 5 successive rounds in S&D.
You can see right now there's a couple of kills going down, but Nero still moving pretty swift and winning the gunfights he needs to. That's 4. 1 health. Gets on, stops the clock on the beat. Boston have numbers here.
Big kill. Oh, Kleenex finds it on the beans. Runs over towards the rail inside, so that will very much slow down Boston. But Nero in this position, you've got to watch the POV because it's just been quite simply exquisite so far from the SNG play. Shots into Hixie are good. Can he find any more here for the Boston side to keep this pressure on? But staying alive is just as important.
And Ultra right now, they're trying to figure out how to deal with it. The mantle means he dies just off the streak. And Ultra can kind of wipe that sweat off the brow. Time is not on Boston's side here.
Oh, I mean, helps when Vivid is gunning like that. Honestly, the Nero hitmark is catching me off guard, but he hasn't slowed down. He will not be deterred. 23 seconds to go. Quite similar to the previous round where Ultra had to get a hold of it nice and late, and it may well be the case here for Boston. They're locked in.
And Nero's just not dying. That's a big lock in here now. That first tick will be all done. A is captured. With a minute 22 and 1 life in the pocket. Boston, can they convert this and make it 2-0?
I was about to say the only problem for Ultra is that they don't have anybody really past the 50-yard line. They want to get somebody as far forward as he possibly can, but they're probably a little bit scared of the positioning of Boston and the position of this man. 18 and 8 from Nero. Wanting to add to the kill list now, and he may well be able to do so. Did they hear him come around from behind? No, they didn't. The Daddy has popped and they can't hear him. Pixie and Scrap will eventually find these kills, though, important ones at that as well. Crucial that Ultra hold on here.
And it's stressful. They knew Nero was somewhere on the flank. He's 19 and 9. Attacking is just difficult, especially if your teammates aren't getting the kills at the moment. Ultra doing a great job of deflecting it. Nero get that gunfight, eventually falls to Kleenex. Another reset here for Boston. See, Vivid's going to try and get in position as well. Bean's going to make a big kill onto Scrap. Vivid makes a second one. It's dangerous now for them. That's 3 down. Boston have an opportunity inside. Has to hold them at bay. He knows where Vivid is. And Scrap will get him off the trade, off the respawn. But Boston have to commit.
But it is an opportunity for Boston, you're very right. They find the kills off the respawn. Now they've got the player up top. It's a big gunfight win from inside Awakening. Gunned out of his stocks, and all of a sudden you now have to retake if you're Ultra. Boston's still in a good position. The kills falling their way.
Vivid gets another one to the flank here. They are keeping this locked in. That first tick is done. Inside, he's fighting for his life, but he falls as well. There's 2 now. Kleenex has to fly towards it. That second tick is coming. 7v7, but it's surely not going to go down to the life. Did Kleenex see him? I think he did. Finds the first one. Second tick is now in. Boston trying to reinforce, but Ultra have the numbers. They're looking to try and put this pressure on as Hixie finds another kill. Awakening gets one, and that time will be ticking. And it's not going to be enough. Ultra hold on to their defense by the tiniest of margins.
It was a stressful one. And honestly, it's a really good play from Vivid that actually starts that one up and running. He's up top plant towards the Ultra side of spawn, the defensive side of spawn, and starts to spawn kill players who have just died in inconsequential gunfights. But because that sort of reinforcement is completely cut off, next couple of gunfights are so important, and Boston win them and they move immediately. But I want to say that the overextension, when there's not a lot of time, when Ultra are coming off the respawn, you see a player push past tin for Boston, I wouldn't have minded just a stack and hold on tight. That's kind of a heads-up play. It's one of the ones you would typically make, but if they stack that, maybe they have the time to get it locked in. Either way, they will go into this round with the advantage on ticks in terms of the attacking side. Defense could be heading their way in round number 5 if we do get there. But Ultra need to bounce back here. It's been 2 very, very close rounds. But ultimately, the score is level.
And Ultra just trying to get this one done quickly, so they've got lots of time to work with. Bit of a fight back from Boston, but really not coming to an awful lot. I say that. They get 2 more kills. Hixie sitting in the corner waiting for some reinforcements to get there for him. Makes his own luck. 2 ticks to the good. He's going hunting.
Needs to, because the rest of your team haven't managed to find a kill between them. So HyDra just needs to keep that pressure on. That's what control is all about. Pressure where you can find it. Nero, though, is the only one who can seemingly kill anybody at any time on this map for Boston. Is this going to be the third? Not quite. Maybe got a little bit greedy there, but when you're feeling it, you're feeling it. Scrapz finds 2. A secured. Toronto Ultra with a lot of time on their hands to try and grab a hold of B. Some decent map positioning, but again, Awakening push towards that blue side. Will be a thorn in this side of the Toronto Ultra. They're finding the kills across the map, though. Awakening, the only one left.
And Ultra really have turned up here in these seconds. Awakening has to use his life. Clinics knows he's here as well. He's going to be looking for it. Going to see him up top. Awakening wins it at the same time. Eventually will fall. Is there enough time left? Boston have come off the respawn. They are reinforcing in numbers, but another big gunfight by HyDra. And all of Boston fall. The second tick is in. The rest of Ultra will pile onto this now. And I don't think Boston have got the time. Awakening can't contest. Scrapz gets a nade onto him as well. And Ultra take the attack.
And Awakening does so well to stay alive as long as he does. He does so well to find a couple of kills alongside of it as well. The rest of Boston, even with the distraction, can get nowhere near Ultra. I'd love to see HyDra's POV of that gunfight. That when I'm not too sure who he gunned towards the end, but it looked absolutely absurd. Ultra finding an attacking round out of nowhere. They've really been on the back foot throughout this control, and is that not the story of this game so far? One team seemingly in control, seemingly comfortable, in the lead, feeling good, and all of a sudden something goes wrong. You lose a round. And typically you lose the map, but plenty of control still to be played. Nero slowed down just a little bit, and maybe is that a factor in Ultra finding a round?
Potentially. Scrapz just trying to make sure Awakening doesn't do anything. Oh, that calls it, but Vivid wins it regardless. And both teams just really fighting for positioning here inside, finding another player there from Boston. Nobody really got onto a site. Yeah, it is inside looking for Beans. Beans has to back off, finds Nero as well. Bullets just thrown at everybody, but nobody going down. It's actually an easy cleanup for HyDra. And the biggest problem is right now is that Boston haven't found anything.
Great snap out from Charlie. Finally 3 now has HyDra. And for Boston, yeah, you're right. They haven't found anything because they've been putting a lot of resources in over towards the B side. It's almost like you find one kill, they get a taste for it. You think to yourself, maybe we could get our way through. Maybe we could ride our luck. But maybe they rode their luck a little bit too long. Boston breach now in an awkward little spot. 25 seconds to go. They do have a little bit of purchase over towards that A side. Ultra have defended over towards B quite well so far. Vivid keeping that pressure on, but whilst that does happen, breach very slowly capturing it.
Vivid actually just making a nuisance of himself over towards B, allowing his teammates to get onto A, slow it down for just a few seconds. But Boston need reinforcements here. They do make the kills as well, though. That's 3. Beans cleans them up before. Only HyDra's going to be here. Is he going to wait, or is he going to go for the hero play? I think wait is the name of the game. He's actually going to just push open that door and get gunned for it.
Yeah. Not much for HyDra really to do there. Does he back up and find himself another position? Yeah, I mean, I'm okay. I mean, Scrapz just finds 3. A will still be secured, but that's so much pressure off the back of Ultra. Because those kills are found, now all of a sudden, Boston, you're in your spawn. There's a lot of work to do here. As Ultra can push themselves up past the halfway mark of the map. And now they can just gun from here. It's so difficult for Boston to find anything here, and it's all off the back of Scrapz finding those 3 kills. Stops Boston from being able to push from an advantageous position, and Ultra can just take all of the control that they want.
Oh, Boston aren't winning really any gunfights. They are trapped. Ultra have control. Clinics finds Vivid before he can get through the inside. HyDra finds Awakening. Beans has to check his own spawn for players. That's how much pressure they're under as HyDra on his 5-streak goes to work. Looks for the last one. He knows Vivid is here. And just peppers him up, reloads, might go for it again. Still has dead silence.
I mean, he's playing it perfectly. He just needs to stay alive in this area of the map, and he is constantly a problem for Boston that they have to worry about on this attacking push, but they've all started to send it through the middle of the map. One last chance for the side of Boston.
He's got away with that as well.
Slippery little snake.
Boston are actually going to be on the point and going for it as well, but HyDra is long range vazzing them. Vivid has had to hunt him for about 20 minutes. Eventually they get him, but it will be Ultra in the kill feed. And now Boston have 5 seconds. It's run, it's jump onto the point, but it's actually just get gunned out of your socks. Only 1 player's here, and down they fall. Ultra fire back into the series, 3-1 on the control.
Oh, that was disgusting from CleanX. Whatever happened, I mean, I'm producing the high-pitched noises that you are as well during this series. It's been such an interesting one. It feels like one team are in control, and then the map goes the other way. Nothing is done until it is done. It's Toronto Ultra proving that at this moment in time. Boston were looking likely for the 3-0 rounds 1 and 2 were comfortable for them. They may well have lost the second, but it was only Ultra holding on by the skin of their teeth to find something in this series. But the next couple of rounds were looking good. 3-1 Ultra, eventually comfortable in the end. It's such a strange series, Bryce. Honestly, it's been hard to predict which way the maps are going to go at any stage. Control over to Ultra, though. The reverse sweep has potentially begun.
Yeah, I want to say as well, I think Nero had something like 20 kills out of the first 2 rounds and then found 8 in the next 2. Talk about slowing down, that is always going to be an issue. Yeah, he's 13-6 going in this one, 14-6. As we keep an eye on it, you saw him playing very, very well, but after that, I think it was something like 8-16. It just really struggled.
I mean, he's 21-10 at this stage, and then would have been sitting himself at a nice little spot as well. 24-13. Halfway through the third round.
He needs 4 more kills the entire game.
4 more kills. Yeah, they really did shut him down. But, I mean, look, you can sort of say to him, like, okay, what were you doing for the rest of the game? But, I mean, if he doesn't play like that, or Boston in even a position to find a round? That's the question. Big performance from Nero throughout the first couple of rounds. As soon as he slows down, Ultra put the foot on the gas. Nicely done. Big game from them, and honestly, Insight, the AR gunfights coming through for him. Scrap alongside of him as well. There was something in my notes that I didn't really mention there, but the AR duo for Toronto, typically a 1.14 and a 1.13. Wow, that's actually incredible. Scrap's average on this map is 1.14, and he's just dropped a 1.14. That doesn't happen very often.
Wow, statistics told us exactly what was going to happen. But we always knew this series was going to be hard fought. And nobody thought Ultra would go out straight 3-0, and that hasn't happened. HyDra Hardpoint is up next, and hey, we would have been remiss if we said we didn't think it probably would go the distance. Tan, I don't know about you, but I got a feeling this is all the way to map 5.
Yeah, I think, you know, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, because I think, you know, you look at maps 1 and 2, the records kind of told you that there was definitely a possibility that Boston could take those 2. Very tight in map number 2, tight in map number 1, but a map typically that Toronto don't enjoy in aBeZy. But then you head into a control. We know how good Toronto are at control. Probably the best team in the game at it in terms of on an average over the 3 maps. Of course, it'd be interesting to see how they do on Expo, but maybe just another time. That LSEL goes their way. You're now heading into a HyDra. The records kind of speak for themselves. Boston are sitting at 6-6, have played it plenty, but haven't necessarily had the success that Ultra have. They're sitting at 4-1. They will be feeling supremely confident that they will force a map number 5. And well, last time around these 2 teams played, it was a map number 5 that was needed, and it was Ultra who took it away. Still other series to go. Boston could still close it out, but they're up against it here in map number 4 as well.
We will see. I know what people are probably thinking at the moment, and yeah, I'm kind of there with you. We kind of had Ultra as the favorites coming into this, and it wouldn't be out of the realms of possibility for them to fight all the way back in. Reverse sweeps do happen, and obviously these are our Major 3 champions. We saw them get crowned just 3 weeks ago. Boston hoping to take this major scalp straight off the rip, though. Can they put it to bed in the hard point?
I think it may well be a tall order. HyDra has been a good map typically for Ultra. I mean, look at the stats. Rotational, second, breaking first on a map that's very difficult to break on. Okay, and you look, I mean, if you're looking at anything else, their hold percentage is not great, but hold percentage for every single team is still pretty solid. When you find those rotations, you find a lot of points when it comes down to HyDra. Toronto, second best team in the game at those rotations. If they can do that, they'll walk away with this map. You would like to think it's going to be about the battle between the fast ARs on this squad, on both squads. Scrap with a 1.23 on average, Wake with a 1.21. That's where the fight's going to be.
Let's see, everybody's swimming. You ain't swimming, you ain't winning. CleanX looking to try and get through already here. We'll just try and get a bit of P1 time in case it doesn't work out.
It's all about these kills over towards this ruined side. Awakening will not be the last line of defenses. While Kleenex turns around and just tries to get rid of aBeZy, should be able to clean them up. He pushes over towards the tin side, and the distraction is enough to, well, distract Kleenex from what was ultimately his initial objective. That's to try and get spawns from P2.
And that's going to be the problem. If you can't get into P2, you need to milk P1 as much as possible and just send players around. It's really difficult to get that transition going. So coming into problems as well. He wants to get out of there, but he will be taken down at the same time. And Ultra have done pretty enough milking, but it's still going to be a hard push as they look to get through Dome.
Not going to make a milking job. Not going to make it. Boston locking down P2 and just really good work over towards the ruined side, working well with each other, but they have given up Dome control, so Ultra with a little bit of a foot in this one. Kleenex through the front door will find one. Where are the rest of Ultra?
Just trying to just play his life here for as long as possible. We'll find one, but the fight is still going on here as Beans tries to take down Hicks. He finds the fire. Fire! It's Vivid. It's Vivid who got him. It wasn't Beans. It's okay. But Boston, hold on.
Just about spawns in towards the back, benefiting them, of course. One player just trying to disrupt as best you can, and I think if you're Ultra, you lose the P2 rotation. You can keep Boston off it for the majority of the time, and you take it as a win. 13 seconds to go. Boston will just about take the lead, but after a P2 rotation that was looking pretty solid, you take that if you're Ultra, if I'm honest with you, and you got the P3 rotation yourself. If you can find Vivid, you're in a nice little spot.
Vivid, does he see him? I don't think he does. He might see him now. He could have turned, look for it, and will find him. Perfect read in the end. Now Boston can put the pressure on. Nero gets another kill. Nero finds a third as well. Just mowing down Ultra on his way to the point.
Ultra having to find clutch kills yet. He did it a couple of times on P2, successfully doing so. Over towards P3 as well. Vivid on his way, Awakening and Nero combining together to find some kills. Kleenex is going to have to work some magic here, though, as he does find two. The rest of the team spawning close still for Ultra. 25 seconds remaining. Boston kind of doing a similar job as to what Ultra did in the previous hill. Hold on, this is the worst gunfight I've ever seen. Eventually will be cleaned up by Kleenex. But because those spawns are there, Ultra can hold on. Boston did disrupt that, but maybe not as well as they had done the previous. And now the spawns towards the back for Boston as well. Really good play from Ultra.
Perfect flip in the end, and
wow,
they give him scrap time. Wait a minute, another flip. Bit of a chaos spawn. Just Boston spawn in P2.
Scrapz like, excuse me?
Happens sometimes, but it's a little bit of a problem here for Ultra. They're trying to get Awakening away from the back of Broken. Now it's thrown down their front as well. You can see Hixie has spawned out. It is going to be a knife fight in the cupboard as both teams try to get this battle line sorted out, and Scrap will gun one. They kind of still have the spawn and will eventually clear it, but there is still a player down low as well. It's going to be Nero who finds it, and now they've got the spawn in back of P2 again.
Honestly, nobody really knows who's in control, but we know that Beans is gunning. There's the kill on the Hixie, there's the break. Ultra will be scratching their heads at that one because, if I'm honest, Ultra played it so well towards P3. Flip the spawns when you need to, win the rotational gunfight, we're good. Spawn said, no you're not. Boston do as best they can with what they've been offered, if you like. A really good job at breaking in where you could. 3 seconds remaining on that hill. Location for Ultra. Rotation for Ultra, I should say, is in full flow. Boston are here, though.
Scrap waiting for the players he knows he's going to chow as well. Relying on his SMGs, and they send in Kleenex. He stays alive. They're trying to stay this one out just a bit. They know that this spawn has flipped as well. Boston attacking from the back. Looking for a player up top. It will be gunned down by Nero, and it will be Boston who gain control ton.
And that's a much cleaner break. That's nothing to do with any sort of spawn cheese at all. Hixie towards the back, though, still keeping those spawns for the side of Ultra. Potential pinch could be on the cards. I think Kleenex has just got horrible timing in the middle of the map, but he actually has slipped by. Gets into the point, finds two as well. It's looking like he was going to get cut down from behind from Nero, but now inside the point is going to have to clutch up as well. This has been so scrappy. Neither team really able to lock down a good 60 so far, which is something we've seen a lot when it comes down to HyDra. It's all about those rotations. It's all about those spawns. If you can find a rotation, you typically find a lot of points. But so far, this has been about the breaks. It's about keeping it messy. Ultimately, though, it is Ultra in the lead. It's about a 20 or 30 point one. But rotation of P2 is there for Boston when we do get there. 50 seconds still remaining on P1.
And Boston actually got a little bit lucky because realistically they had parallel spawns to Ultra. Ultra didn't overextend, expecting somebody to be around P1, but they weren't. So now it's the same scenario as last time. Get time on P1, and they are doing it. This will give CleanX a little bit of an opportunity to maybe push out. The spawn's coming in for Beans towards the back. They have kind of flipped them out. Except everybody's spawning that side.
Yeah, it's difficult now because Ultra, you've got to try and read the impossible. Yeah, oh my god, CleanX, the snapper. The gunfight's falling the way. It's only Vivid in a good position to do something here. Needs to lock this down. CleanX, big kill. Vivid, huge kill.
As we go towards it, we're going to find out how these teams are feeling. Let's see if the Purple Dream is alive with the Toronto Ultra. Listen in.
Back into rinse. I don't think off on this, boys.
I'm wrapping back to you, Charlie.
I have the bottom dome in the water now.
Yeah, absolutely on this side.
In the water.
Right, so top down.
Yeah, two left, I got one. On my left, turn.
I'm one shot.
Let's go, baby.
Nice grab, good shot.
Last guy, Ben. He's in the wall on the right, I think.
L, one shot, absolute.
I'm gonna do a nade on this.
Run away. Yo, big 40, yo, massive 40.
Back, he's dead.
Nice, good shit, Jimmy.
One more left. Can you get my cross, Jimmy? Can you get my cross? Don't worry about doing left. Don't worry about
Close
left.
out.
Absolute close. So weak.
Dead.
Nice, the woman's back.
On Mackies. One more
Nice,
Mackies.
okay.
One more. Weak.
That's one down. Let's go.
Mack is
He's going to bet you, Jimmy.
Dead.
nice. Match one back.
Yeah, back.
One in new for sure, I think.
Five up here.
Look, big wake.
He's off spawn, I'm pretty sure.
Dominated.
Look away though,
Yeah.
left way.
I think front scrap. About to leave this
I
one.
can hear him in the
Try
back.
to make this one there. One's Mack is scrap.
Dead.
That's your
Nice
shit.
as him.
Back green, on the cages. Dead.
Nice.
One more,
Gets caged.
backstairs.
It's last guy, I think.
Staying up, Jimmy.
Just climb.
P5 and backstage, or backstairs.
Dead. Alright, just kept spawning.
Let's go top dead.
Not back cages. Be annoyed.
Alright, Ben's back.
Yo,
Ben's back.
one's on me, like,
Spawn back
left.
as well.
Yeah, play your own kill, Scrapz. Spawn on UP2, by the way. Just play that kill. Play the spawn kill.
One's back blue.
Got me, too.
You know dead.
One's blue.
Yo, two P1.
Jimmy. I didn't hit him on the rock wake. He's snaking that middle rock, yeah. He's snaking that middle rock on Jamie.
Dead, bro, one front. He's climbed up top.
He's at the back.
Oh, shit, back P5.
Alright, one's window.
And Toronto Ultra calling out Big 40. They get the Big 40 there. Now 100 points ahead. Boston do stop the bleed here on P3. But is it too little too late?
I mean, I'd be just trying to look at the minimap and try and figure out what's going on with the spawns here. It's been a bit funky today. It often is on HyDra, but what's not funky for Boston is that 4 dead. Ultra find the kills, and now they can start extending over towards that P4 side of things. Crucial that Boston find a good hold here because they won't get scrap time. They will get rotation. 225 is going to pretty much be the number, the target for Boston. For CleanX. There's a soggy little tissue getting around the outside there. Awakening will eventually take him down. But is that maybe the initial break that Ultra need to find? The spawns are still there for Boston.
Ultra trying to stack here for a break, but Nero already deflects the first one. Inside, looking for another one. They are getting some kills going forward here, Ultra. And Boston are feeling the pressure. Only Bean's going to be left, and he will find Insight. But taken down by Scrap. And now Scrap will find Nero as well, but not Awakening. Ultra just have to continue to fight this for as long as possible. Boston must not let them in under any circumstances.
See, putting the pressure on. Oh, if you could have found the second, it would have been huge. But Ultra have disrupted again. They've been so good at doing that. If Boston have found a rotation, Ultra have just kept them to the minimal amount of points they possibly can. But now this rotation coming on through. CleanX, important gunfight. Teammates spawning over towards the back of P4. But he gets one with him as well because, screw it, why not? Vivid spawning over towards P3 as well. It's absolute chaos across the map. Kills being traded. You need to find the kills if you're Boston, though. You need to find a break.
And now you can see Scrap just trying to hold every single angle that he can. Pressure mounting here as Beans goes on a 5 streak to try and keep this alive. And there is a melee. And Boston are in. 40 seconds. Ultra have to break back into this. It's not over. Ultra still hold all the cards. But Beans trying to have the Cinderella story.
We managed to cast some quite outrageous comebacks in hardpoint. This would be up there with them. It's about a 60 or 70 point lead now for the side of Ultra. Still looking good for it, but Vivid and Nero are trying their best, but it will be CleanX to clean it up. 5 seconds to go.
Beans has to fly in, and he's going to go straight down as well. An Awakening. The 2 ARs forced to put themselves in a position, but down they fall. And Ultra bring this series back to 2-2. A map 5 is on the cards. Here's a reverse sweep.
Very much beckons We kind of thought when we were heading into HyDra that it was on the cards. And we get it again. It's random map 5s for us. We're taking the Jay and Lando curse here. And I'm happy for it. I'll take it. 2-2 between these two teams. Map 5 we go again. Last time around it was a map 5 that went Ultra's way. Will that be the case here? A very, very good HyDra hardpoint out the Toronto side.
It was. They played that perfectly most of the way through, and you're even going to say they probably took their foot off the gas in the last little bit just because they could rotate early and give away so many more points. But Boston weren't able to get back into it. There was just not enough time. And at the moment, everybody's tied up. So a decider on Embassy Search and Destroy, Tom.
Hard one to decipher. We'll head into the stats after the break, but the momentum very much is with Toronto Ultra. They'll be knowing that previously in a game where they went to a map number 5 and they beat Boston on the Search and Destroy. Boston may well have countered them when it comes down to the hotel. They figured out whatever piece of the puzzle they needed to in that one late on where they found 5 rounds in a row. But they're going to have to find another Search and Destroy if they want to prevent that reverse sweep coming through, Bryce.
They certainly are. Well, let's find out who walks away the victor right after this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you for more Call of Duty League. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. We have a game for you. This is Map 5, Boston Breach versus Toronto Ultra. And we're looking forward to it. 10 points on the line. Ultra don't really need it, but Boston do. But also a potential reverse sweep, Ton.
Potential. I think Ultra will probably be looking at it and saying to themselves, we were in a good position to close this out 3-0. The initial start to the hard point was brilliant. The search and destroy, they were 4-1 up and cruising. It took a comeback somewhat in the control and a very solid HyDra hard point to send us to this stage. But Vivid really has been the man. And it's come down to it for Boston. He's finding kills all over the place. He's had a good S&D performance so far in this series as well, sitting at 12-7. Will need to be equally as good if they want to close this one out. It is a map that does somewhat favor Boston. They're sitting at 4-2, Toronto at 2-2. The poor first bloods once again from Ultra. Kind of similar story as what we see on Hotel from them. But it's a map 5. Sometimes the stats go out the window, Brycey. Let's just enjoy it.
Enjoy it, we will. Comes the initial break, Vivid. Wait and see if anybody pushes. They haven't gone for the long cross, and Ultra will know that. Boston looking to play this very slow, methodical, wait for a pick or a mistake. The onus will be on them. They will have to make the first move if Ultra don't.
And Hixie's the perfect player for Ultra to try and do this job, be a nuisance, get around behind him. Kleenex is also very adept at trying to do that as well. Nobody making the move yet. Even if Hixie can find some information here from this position, which I'm sure he will do at some stage, his job is almost done for Ultra to a certain degree. Now the team wanting to make a move yet, but here we go.
Nero. I think he's been seen as well, though. Kleenex fires a few bullets, but doesn't get him. And Beans will take down Scrapz. They're waiting for it. Kleenex goes flying out. He's picked the wrong corner. Burns, but no good. Nero will find him in the end. Hixie managed to get one back towards it, and he's going to try and fly in there at the same time as all the kills go down. Insight makes a kill, but Boston still will have to push this.
I mean, it was just a little bit over-eager from Kleenex. He really doesn't want that bomb to go down. 10 seconds, though. Insight. He's got a good chance to do this, but Awakening is planting. He's going to have to try and make the issue forced, but Beans is there for the cover. First round over towards the side of Boston. Toronto bled that time as long as they could. Honestly, for me, you can see Kleenex a little smile to himself, so probably thinking he could have played that a little bit better. Jumping off the top of P3 to force the push over towards the bomb. Nobody there. Hindsight is a wonderful thing, but aggressive from Kleenex that time around doesn't pay off.
And yeah, I mean, Kleenex, he tried to make the right play. Almost pulled off something miraculous, but Boston did do a very good job of converting it with very little time left. This time, Ultra, they're already going for the long cross, but without the bomb.
Very aggressive again.
First kill is going to go over towards Scrapz, second over towards Kleenex. The first bloods have not necessarily been flowing overall on aBeZy for Toronto, but they will find them in the second round. Awakening. A small glimmer of hope now for Boston in this round. It's a 2v3, but in Toronto's favor, and that bomb is down.
And Hixie has dead silence. Cleans out orange. Can Beans and Awakening find something here? They were the duo that won the last round. The time is against them.
It's a hard retake from this side as well. Beans with the scope. Just trying to find something, and I imagine Hixie would punish him, but he has been punished already. The kill flies through. It's just so hard to retake. You guys will know you're playing ranked at home. If that bomb is down, there's players in PD. If you haven't got anybody flanking, you're both pushing from that P3 side. It's so difficult to try and retake. You've got to basically wait for a mistake. Coming in from the team who's planted the bomb. No mistakes there from Ultra. The Major 3 champions getting around on the board here. A convincing one at that as well. One apiece. And just a quick stat line. We actually haven't had a reverse sweep in quite some time. The last time around, it was actually OpTic over FaZe in Major II Qualifiers. So it has been quite some time, Brycey. One's still on the cards here for Ultra.
It is all tied up. This time Boston going for the more traditional cross though. They're going straight for it. Ultra going for the counter, and Vivid and Beans, they're going to find all the kills onto Ultra here straight away. Beans just trying to take off Scrapz' hair. It's all advantage here for Boston.
Oh, inside with some good shots, but Beans an equally as good one. Scrap now in the 1 versus 3. Does well to find Awakening, but once again, mission impossible. You're not going to be expecting this. Vivid inside of Orange. Nicely done from Boston. Aggressive, and on the back of Beans sitting towards PD and finding the picks. Last time around, Beans and Boston played this map. He dropped a 10-3 for the squad. He's on his way to potentially doing something equally as good here. Boston in the lead again.
And this, I just got a feeling that both these two teams should go the distance here on S&D ton. They try to counter here. The one big issue that Ultra will have to figure out is this sniper from Beans. It's just giving them opportunities and getting trades when they need it.
Ultra got a couple of players who can play that role. Typically scrapping insight. aBeZy will find first blood this time for Ultra, Awakening an immediate answer back. And now that bomb's in a little bit of a difficult position, and somebody who's in a good position is Vivid. Dead silence popped, and this is just bad information for Ultra to find out. Vivid up top PD. Their arm might be choked.
There we go. Clinics already finds one though. 2 versus 2. Beans and Awakening again. The last 2 alive for Boston. And that sniper is just ready. Clinics may throw a shoulder here as he goes to check it, because he knows he will have to move out at some point. Scrap on the other side of the map.
He's opened the door though, because Beans was watching over that B side. Scrap starts firing, and Boston bite. Scrap, is he going to be able to get away from this position as well, as that bomb will go down over towards B? The shot's raining through. Scrap probably dead to rights here as well, just trying to survive as long as he can. Is he going to get out as well? Yes, he is. Big plays from Scrap to distract. Kleenex just ready and waiting to Orange. This is a big round.
Yeah, Kleenex has probably been here for quite a while going, where on earth is this enemy team? And both of them are playing with Scrap on the other side of the map. 24 seconds left. For Ultra, they have the opportunity, but that bomb is being defused. Kleenex will have to check. Goes out, finds Beans, checks the bombs, gets the second one as well. And he doesn't have to do anything for the first half of that bomb going down, but the second half he strikes.
And they just completely sold them there if you're Ultra. Scrap over towards A, starts firing out some shots. Oh, guys, we're going this way. Definitely going A. Whereas Kleenex can pick up that bomb that's in absolute no man's land and planted straight over towards B. And what was crucial there is that Scrap got out. If you're Boston in that scenario, it may well be Kleenex to pick up those final 2 kills, but then they would have the information that Kleenex is the last one, of course, over towards that bomb site. You don't have to worry about Scrap wherever he is. Scrap plays that very, very well. May not find too many kills in that round, but influenced it a little bit more than finding those kills, to be honest.
All tied up.
Look at this flank.
It's a big flank, but can they make it? They're looking for Beans. That's what they want. Awakening already finds HyDra though. Kleenex will get Awakening, and Inside will find Beans before he can do any more. Nero trying to get away with this one. Dead silence pops. He desperately fights for his life. A 3 versus 2. Boston will have the bomb down. It is a significant advantage.
They're just expecting Nero to push forward. Have they heard that over towards the orange side? Insight hasn't moved. Nero hasn't moved. This bomb's being defused though. Can Vivid find the shots? But Nero can. He can find a second as well and gets out. 15 seconds.
There's a chance it. There goes the nade. He's a chance it anyway. Nero gets the clutch. Kleenex throws back his head in exasperation. They thought they had it.
Just plays it so patiently. He's sitting up at top orange without making a sound for quite some time. Insight doesn't get the cue, doesn't know he's there. Pops up top, kills Insight, gets the guy off the bomb. It was looking good for Ultra for a second in terms of that retake, but they couldn't make it count. Boston in the lead here, 3-2. It's blow for blow for blow so far. Big attacking hit from Ultra over towards the B side. Coming here, KiSMET watching the cross as he starts to get aggressive. Can survive as well. Scrap will fall though. 3v3. KiSMET trying his best to find this kill. It could be crucial. He finds it, but now a 2v2. That's a big nit.
It is. Oh, he's caught that one perfectly. He's actually
He's hit him in the
with it
face.
as well. And Beans has got it inside the clutch.
It's a big round.
Always Beans and Awakening. Always.
It's quite often the AR battle when it comes down to it on this map. Ultra really struggling with these first bloods. I'd like to get a check on those if we can. It feels like they haven't found many. Sound cue for Boston. Insight now. A lot of work to do and not a lot of time to do it.
Oh, Beans almost gets caught, but he doesn't. 27 seconds inside just doesn't have the time to play with. And Boston will not give him anything.
I mean, ideal scenario here is, yeah, he has to run top orange, try and gun Beans, try and get the bomb down. It's just impossible. Beans will hear him, will win the gunfight, sprays before he gets around the corner. It's a 2-round lead for Boston in map 5.
And that is huge for them. They know it as well. They can stop their own fate. They can stop the reverse sweep. Just 2 more rounds in the S&D. And this is a match they desperately want.
And it actually, sitting on the first blood side of things, it's actually 3-3 now. So Boston making them count, Ultra not making them count. It just felt like Boston have been the ones on top of that one, but shows I'm paying a little attention. But there's definitely another first blood over towards Boston. Beans has been such a thorn in the side. He may well find another here. The stuns and the nades. Insight in trouble. Toronto in big trouble. 4v2 in favor of Boston. This is to go 5-2 up. It's
Oh
over.
my
Oh my
goodness.
word.
Ultra have fallen apart. Our Major 3 champions about to be handed an L. 1 more round here for Boston. They take down Ultra. Which technically makes Legion the best in the league, but we'll get to that at some other point.
By proxy, yeah. Well, here we are. Last time around, it was Ultra 4-1 to the good in the search and destroy. And we've seen 5 rounds in a row from Boston. Ultra, you need to find just the 4. Stone check's going to go out. Beans in a good position here.
It's his first blood and Beans is in trouble. He wants this kill for it as well, but Inside will nade him out and Ultra just go full on blitz and just run them down. I suppose that's the way to deal with a sniper.
Fly them.
Yes. Double nade. Push straight at them. Much more aggressive. Ultra staying alive.
Still need quite a few more rounds. That was a lot better. The aggression paying off. I thought obviously with the stun coming out to check the push. Beans was in prime position. Doesn't land the first shot. The rest of his teammates put into trouble. It's been influential for the squad so far. Needs to be again. That is a lot of nades over. First blood for Ultra. Once more. Insight with a big stick out himself. Can he counteract Beans here?
No, he can't. Beans already holding the angle. 3-3 now. And Beans going to be on Overwatch. Bomb down for Boston.
Daddy Nelly up for Hixie here. It's got to be the play. Can you find the kill here inside of Orange if you're KiSMET? Yes, you can. Still going to deal with the players over towards the backside though for Boston. Beans put under pressure. Hixie will find him. The bomb's being defused. Can Awakening do anything about this?
Here he comes. The largest of wakes. Tries to thread the needle, but can he see the player on it? He does! He got him before he defused! Awakening! Trying to clutch up a 1 versus 3. Doing it again. Looking for Scrap, but Hixie will get him. It is no Cinderella story. You will not go to the ball. Ultra managed to stop him in time.
Huge round from Hixie. KiSMET finds one inside of Orange, then Hixie just forces the issue. It's a nice retake from Ultra. Awakening does his utmost to try and prevent another round from coming in here. But we are 1 round away from another. Game 5, round 11. That's 2 in a row from Ultra. They still need to find 2 more if they want to find the reverse sweep.
go. Ultra still can't put a step wrong, though. Going out for Beans with a sniper again.
They may well be stunned up. You've seen them slow down there, so the information is probably there for Boston. But this bomb is going down nonetheless.
Oh, Beans stays alive, but has been forced to back down. Bomb down for Ultra. Fights on towards the back as well.
It's a late retake, actually. Boston managed to force a way around. It was Nero who took his time. Scrapz must find a gunfight win here.
Next, gonna find Awakening. It's down. It's a 2 versus 4. Ultra did not find the gunfights when they wanted them. Beans is going to be overwatched with his sniper again. Nero's going to get... Oh, no! It's Scrapz in a 1 versus 4 himself. He finds the first gun by Vivid, and Boston have done it. They've taken down the Major 3 champions. It is a huge scalp to start off their campaign. I say start off, they were lost yesterday, but it's still a huge scalp. Beans beats his chest as they beat Ultra out in this series.
And putting to rest the demons of their games against Ultra, specifically for Beans, who had a hell of a game number 5. In that 2v4 scenario, it's still doable for Ultra with that bomb down. You just got to stay alive, PD. But watching the windows is the sniper from Boston. That's Beans. Such a good play. Stays alive, holds the angle, finds the kill. It's 10 and 5 from him. Dropped 10 the last time around that they played aBeZy as well. And it's kept that trend moving.
Difficult to deal with at all stages, and Scrapz towards the back. You really hope to get Vivid or Awakening. You could have had both. Would have been a different round, but because they both played their lives, couldn't do anything with it. Forced them to check the bomb. Couldn't get Nero before Beans sniped him out of his socks. And Boston, 1, 2, and 5. Walk away with the W and the 10 points they desperately wanted.
Yeah, that would have been a scary one. Yeah, heading into a search and destroy against Ultra. Potential reverse sweep on the cards. I think Ultra would be really disappointed with that. You think back to maps 1 and 2, positions that they were in. Okay, yeah, lead on a hard point. Yeah, it does often fall away, but it was a solid, I want to recall, maybe 60 or 70 points to S&D. You were 4-1 up in map number 2. They'll be disappointed with that. Nearly the reverse sweep, but not quite.
Yeah, not quite indeed. Let's throw it over, though, to our wonderful Des to break all that game down.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Alley Cat, Nameless, we got to talk about this series. And Alley, I want to start with you. You said Boston needs to get first bloods.
Yeah.
How'd they do in the search and destroys tonight?
They did really well. Actually, in that first search and destroy, they didn't get more first bloods than Toronto did, but I feel like it was just really the Beans and Vivid show in that situation. But when it came to that game number 5, 100%. It was a lot of those picks off Beans. It was a lot of those situations where Toronto, it looked like they had a lot of map control, and one of the Boston players just like won an unbelievable gunfight to get that first blood, and the collapse just followed throughout.
Nameless, you mentioned that Toronto, after winning the last major, had an opportunity to elevate their game. Is this a testament to Boston's strength, or do you feel that Toronto kind of fell off a little bit since their last LAN performance?
I think Toronto still looked fantastic in the series. Like, they had an opportunity if they were to close out that game, too. This is a different song that we're singing here on the desk, right? But Boston Breach, a solid squad, bouncing back after the loss yesterday. The most impressive thing to me throughout this series was the search and destroys, and particularly Beans had himself a hell of a performance, but just like the adjustments that they made, especially on that hotel S&D, you're down 4-1. Toronto have set up some beautiful offenses on you, a couple B pushes, and then an A push, so they adjust their defense, a 2-2 split. And then we see Beans fighting the pressure early round on their offense, getting control of top bedroom, just well-defined goals on the map. Once again, we saw it here in this game 5 search and destroy. Beans is giving them so many different looks. We saw on the very first round that they had, Beans goes and snipes street. Later in the game, he pulls out the TAC 56, whips on the trophy, and he's starting to play with them over near that B site, right? So Beans is hitting them with so many different looks. They don't really know where to even contest the sniper, or if he's even gonna have it in any specific round. So Boston Breach, a lot to deal with. And really, like, they had great goals that they were defining there. That last round, once again, not to go on too much of a tangent, but we saw Beans pull out the sniper, sitting top AC, specifically waiting for them to get that bomb down and just play for the window kill on the retake. That's trusting your teammates, and that's high-level search.
Since they've added Beans to the lineup, Boston is now capable of winning game 5s, and they win it against one of our top 2 seeds, taking down Toronto Ultra. This is a big win for Boston, who we were worried about. Will they start slipping in the standings? No, I think they're here to stay.
Yeah, I mean, You know, it was a tough loss yesterday. And now it's like, where do we put Vegas? Vegas.
Number one, you heard it from Brycey. Right
Yeah, I
there
guess so.
next to my boys who won our first series. Just saying, Minnesota's on the stage next. Before we get to that, we got to take a look at our scuff play of the game. Let's walk us through this one. It's Mr. Nero.
Yeah.
Picking up some clutches.
It was Nero alive and orange here. I mean, he gets 3 in this situation, technically a 1v2, and it's just the way he plays his life, and that he's so weak, he throws a nade, kind of that insurance, but he doesn't even end up needing it in the end. He just guns the player that pushes it, tries to push him out in Kleenex. It was just like, it wasn't the most difficult 1v3 to win, but he still played his wife incredibly well.
And Nameless, you were mentioning that we kind of started that clip halfway through it. He was playing his Deddy perfectly, right?
Yeah, so Deddy had like a little bit left. And his teammate was like completely out of play.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't in position to check bombs. So Nero's up top, and there's a guy top AC. He has a sliver of Deddy left, or goes to the door, jumps up to peek bomb. No one's on it, which buys his teammate a little bit more time, and he ends up clutching at the very end. Just great plays all around.
Boston clutching up in a game 5, and right now we have the search and destroy hero from the squad clutching up in another final. We see it happening here with Beans leading the charge on snipes. Beans, talk me through your searches today. How do you feel about your game?
Search is looking great. We've got a little mascot in the back here. This is Leslie.
What is that?
He's with us in our games. He's a little breathing monk, I think he is. But yeah, he's with us now. But yeah, our S&D is looking so much better. Couple mishaps at Major 3, but we've really knuckled down on it. I think if we just get our respawns into order, I think we're the best team in the game.
Who do you think rubs your mascot the most?
What?
It's Joe. It's got to be Joe.
That's so.
He loves to get on the head. He loves a little rub before the games. Yeah, it's perfect.
Following the tradition of fact, this seems to be pretty trolly. We got a boob series, just to let you know. And also, can you tell me a story about Leslie? How did you get Leslie?
He just appeared. I don't know. We came back from Major 3, obviously a little bit disheartened. I don't know. He just appeared on the setups, and now he's here for us to stay.
Beans, I want to ask you, you had a hell of a series, man, especially in those S&Ds. You guys found yourself in Hotel down 4-1. I saw some great adjustments. What happened mid-game? What did you guys realize that you changed in that game 2?
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing in that game 2. Our mid-round adjustments were perfect. We knew, they were holding certain crosses from certain areas, and we adjusted mid-map, and I think that's what really made the difference. Obviously, we started a little bit slow. I think that's been the story of our team so far. This split, we keep starting slow, but then when we get going, we're unstoppable. So it's just one of them. We started slow in that map, and then I said, every round was important after the 4-1 round, and we managed to pull it out.
I want a quick follow-up to that too, because I see in the game 5, like, you're just kind of doing whatever you want early round. One round you're hitting bomb site with the team, next round you're sniping top AC, or you're going street. Is that you making these play calls in the search and destroys, like based on a feeling? Because it seems like you just have like a next level anticipation of what the other team's giving you.
Yeah, I think we just knew kind of what their game plan was. And yeah, we just countered them the best we could. I mean, that map's Embassy's not too complicated. Sure. You dive to B, you get the bomb down. It's about all you do. But yeah, I mean, we kept adapting mid round, which I think was the story of our S&Ds this series, and yeah, we played it pretty good.
Nice.
Top 4 at the Major, and now you're picking up a win after an upset yesterday. Congrats on the dub over Toronto, Beans. We'll let you go celebrate.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Boston knocking both their matches out of the way here in our first week of the qualifier. They'll finish with a 1-1 record, but this is a big win and a tough start for Toronto. On the other side of the series here, we're also going to see Minnesota looking to finish with a 2-0 record on the same day. Alley Cat, that is coming up next. But before we get there, we got to remind people, they can be on this show. How do they become a part of it?
You get your plays in rank play. You go, you grind it out, and you've got some cool clips. Make sure you post them on the timeline, hashtag CDL rank plays, and maybe you'll catch it here on the broadcast.
I saw my boys spin a Spence, made it iridescent, Nameless. Where are we at right now? We still Crimson?
Oh, no, I'm iridescent.
All right, I was a little worried about you.
Whoa, that's right.
Yo, I've been there for like a month.
I was just kidding, by the way. I knew this. Nameless is like 16,000 points. I'm a few behind him. Here's a look, though, at what's going down in Wisconsin. We got the home series. Røkkr take on LAG after this. Don't go anywhere. It's the CDL Major IV Qualifiers.